Hi, I'm Pernille, or Penny, if that's easier for you to pronounce. I'm an artist, Danish artist that lives in a cottage in the countryside, and right now we are in my studio. And if you can hear Budgie, that's because in here I have a rescue Budgie. So she will be talking during this video for sure. I want to share this video. In this video, I want to share this completed sketchbook that I worked in during lockdown, and then I abandoned it, and then I started working in it again last January, and I completed it in December. So I want to share that, and before I turn the camera around, I want to thank you for leaving your kind comments in the last video. That made me really happy. And if you have any comments, any questions, please drop them below. And without further ado, let's go to the table. So this is my completed illustrated journal. It's a Fabriano Venezia book. I like this type of sketchbook. It has got 200 GSM paper in it, so I really like it. Front, I have some stickers. This is Sophie McPike. This is Pocket Journal Pam, and some of them I got. This is from a museum, so random stickers. And then my style has changed a lot. That's the fun thing about sketchbooks. It's looking back and see how you evolve. This one is from November of 20. I was spending the night at a friend's house. So this is just snapshots from her house. We were gifted a plant from one of our friends. This one is, for a week I noted down what kind of animals and painted them, what kind of birds we saw in our garden here in the wintertime. So we had the great spotted woodpecker, the wood nuthatch, the blue tit and the marsh tit, the wren and the great tit, the robin and the greenfinch. So these were some of the birds we saw in the garden around wintertime. This seemingly random spread is things that reminds me of my grandfather. I had a dream about him, and so when I woke up, I just sketched some things that made me think of him. He always had the same type of slippers, and when he wore one pair out, he went out and bought another pair identical to the one he had just thrown out, and he had sheep, so that reminds me of him. So he had a farm, so farming stuff. Then it was lockdown again, as I write here. So that's our front door and the shed behind the stables, because we were stuck at home again. And this is in April of 21. My parents were still living at their house. They just sold it in 25, but that is my father had this pavilion. Mom and Dad had this tea pavilion in the garden, so I sketched that. And this is a birdhouse my father made. So it's nice to have. That's the nicest thing about illustrated journals, is that they preserve your memories. They are a way of they became a vessel of memories. And so when I look back at this, I can still see my parents' garden, even though they don't live there anymore. It takes me right back. And this is from the beach near Aarhus, Moesgaard Beach. I went there with my dad, so painted that one. And this is my son. He underwent surgery in May of 21. And so that's him with the teddy he got. Children at the Danish hospitals usually get this teddy when they are submitted to hospital. And so he got this teddy called Theo. And so that's him in the hospital bed. And If I hadn't written this down and documented in this journal, I would have forgotten. But my husband and I bought him a lot of treats and candy and filled this huge glass bottle that we have with it as a surprise for when he came home from hospital. A rapeseed field, a very quick sketch of a rapeseed field. This is a hut or some sort of a shed in the forest in our town. And this is the last sketch before I abandoned it for years. And the view in front of me was boring. I was waiting for my daughter, so I sketched the view behind me in the mirror, behind the car. And so this is the first sketch of 25. And we had a flooding. We have this small stream running in the valley at the end of our property, and it flooded the entire valley. So I documented that with this sketch. This is about me longing for spring. So we had this wren that stays in our garden, so I sketched him. And we had snow, so I sketched the same view as this one, but covered in snow in the middle of January. And then, as the title suggests, we had to say goodbye to our old cat, Mille. She was 14 years old and she had a stroke. So we had to send her over the Rainbow Bridge in January. And so that's my portrait of her. And this is a sketch from our forest that runs all the way down to the beach. And so these are some of the houses with the public toilet in here, and there's something that schools can use in that building. And so that's about took him. I did the initial sketch with the pen and ink and then I colored it when I got home because it was really really cold. And then I drew my dog, one of the dogs, because I took him to the forest. So that's about him. We went urban sketching at the train station. So that is one of the other urban sketches, and some of the passengers waiting for the trains. And these are portraits of animals I saw this week. So we live in the countryside, so there is a large variety of animals around our property. So apparently I saw the hawk and geese and the hare and swan and wood pigeons, seagulls, and I think this is called a ferret. Yeah, a ferret. And then we went to visit my parents, and this is the view from their hallway into the garden, and you can see the garden shed from before, just there. And these are a special kind of pastry that we get around the middle of February. In Denmark, we celebrate fastelavn or Lent. It's kind of like, we have the same traditions as around Halloween, where the kids dress up and go trick-or-treating, and then we have these parties where instead of a piñata, we fill a wooden barrel with candy, and then the kids knock it down and smash it with clubs, just like you would with a piñata. This is just the badass version of a piñata, basically. So that's a fastelavnsbolle. So the pastry we got. And this is a section of my grandmother's living room. We went to visit her, so I wanted to document her living room. We went urban sketching again, so this is the courtyard. I was sitting inside and looking out into the courtyard, so I drew that. And this is one of the other urban sketches. These are one of the trolls. They are scattered all over the world, and I mean the artist is called Damsbo, and he makes these giant turtles out of recycled materials, and one of them is called Assoy, and we went to see that one when we were visiting a relative, so I drew him. Very quick sketch of a burial mound from the Iron Ages. And another urban sketching event. We went to a local city council. We got permission to draw at one of their meetings. The meetings there are always public. Anyone can join, but we asked permission if we could draw them. So that is from that event. We have just had elections, so all of the politicians have now changed positions, and that is the former mayor. This is a sketch collage of I was doing a walk around our property. So one of the large rocks in the meadow, our shed, the old apple tree and the magnolia tree. And I was doing that in preparation for this sketch because I was teaching a workshop about collaging together elements to make this collage. And so we did an urban sketching trip where we drew in 5 different locations. No, we had 5 different drawings, but we sketched in 4 different locations. So some of the city gates in the rampart, and we have a lot of statues of old soldiers because there was a huge battle here. And so we have a lot of kind of memorials. Tried a different layout. I don't know if I like it or not, but about the nesting swans near the beach. And they have their nest right up against the parking lot. And I don't know if you know, but if a swan is nesting, you shouldn't approach them because they are quite aggressive and very defensive. And so it's a bit problematic that they have chosen to build their nest right up against the parking lot, but it makes it easy to sketch from the safety of your car. Another rapeseed field further down the road. As you can see, my style has developed quite a lot from, when was it? Watch me fumble. So I really like this sketch. And I love the bright yellow rapeseed fields. We have ravens nesting in the meadow behind the house, so I sketched a raven. This is a building at a folk high school and a statue in front of it. We went urban sketching there. And that orange blob is one of the other urban sketches. Went to Mo, a museum in Aarhus, and sketched some of the tiny figurines there. I went there with my son. Another trip to another museum. This is in Haithabu or Hedeby. It's in Germany, just at the other side of the border. There used to be a huge Viking settlement or town there called Haithabu. And so this is from where they have made this reconstruction of the city or the town as it would have looked like back then, and then one of the people working there. And when we are across the border, we always go shopping in the border shops. And so this is some of my older son asked us to bring back this kind of chocolate spread and some of the other stuff that we bought. My husband asked me he saw this image. Someone had tried to make an image of how this fish that lived 450 million years ago looked like. And my husband asked me to sketch it because he thought it looked super silly. So I did. I don't like this sketch, but it's there. This is from an urban sketching event we were invited to draw at an event called the Wildflowers Day. at this nature information center. You can go there and learn about the wildlife in the area. And so they have this event. And so I drew some of the wildflowers and the building nested in the woods. This is from the, I went down to the waterfront and sketched one of the houses on the other side of a canal. We went to this Viking market, this Viking fair called Ravens Market, and I drew some of the guys that were part of the reenactment. This is my oldest dog, and just like you have sheepdogs that likes to herd sheep, he thinks he's a turtle dog. He likes to herd the turtle. We have a tortoise. We have a tortoise, and sometimes we bring the tortoise out of the enclosure that she lives in, and he just guards her, make sure she's safe and that she doesn't run away. Because some people think that turtles are slow. They're not. She can walk quite fast. I don't like the sketch, but that's how it goes sometimes. We went. There's this memorial event at around the 6th of July here in this city because of a major battle that took place that we won against Prussia back in 1800 and something. And so every year we have this huge memorial and this is one of the soldiers that came there. They are on horseback, and so I drew this quick sketch before he left. And this is one of the towers at the square where the soldiers were. And as a part of this these celebrations, there is people that are kind of dressing up like people would dress up in the 1800s. And so this is one of the reenactment persons working in the reenactment. Sketches from my daughter and I went to this garden center. She collects, which is very much into plants. And so we went and she bought 2 plants and I sketched them. And we also went to another garden center where they have this huge parrot called Gaia. Very loud and noisy. So I drew that. This is the view from a local cemetery, and this is one of the noble families in the area built the church, and they also built the tea pavilion. And so they have this tea pavilion there, so that's a part of section of that, and the view from the local beach. Looking over, this is the little belt, and this is the island of Fyn or Funen. Went down to Middelfart Marina, so to sketch there. It was a bit overwhelming with all the boats, so I turned around and drew the view from the marina looking out in the countryside. And this is a portrait of our cat Otto. He was attacked by probably raccoon dogs, and he went missing for a week, and when he came home he was in a very, very bad shape, so he underwent urgent care and surgery. And we had to keep him inside for 2 weeks to make sure that all these wounds were healed and he was okay to go out again. Very, very, very quick sketch of the sunsets at Tralle Beach. I just wanted to capture these peachy colors in the sky and the ocean. Very, very quick sketch, less than 5 minutes. This is from a museum in Vejle. They had this exhibition about the Iron Ages, and so they have these wooden statues of some of the old Norse gods, so I painted that. I saw a robin that day that I was documenting, and this is our neighbor. He has these the driveway down to his farm in the autumn. The trees there are so stunning, this bright orange color, so I wanted to capture that. That's one of the things I've told myself I wanted to paint for years and just didn't, so I did that day, and we carved jack-o'-lanterns. That's my nephew playing at the birthday party. And we went to another trip to that garden center that we drew from before, and these are one of the other plants. I bought a plant there, an Athorium hybrid. We had a workshop at an art festival so we had a workshop people could attend for free. These are some of the quick sketches I did that day, and these are one of the statues, or it was like this giant vase shaped like a bird. One of the artists had displayed there. My friend adopted a cat, and so that's him. And it was election day, so I do the flag, and these are the rooftops of. We go to the local college to vote. The sunsets at the beach. And I tried to make these elements. I was working a bit more with the layout towards the end of this sketchbook. And so on a walk when I was visiting my friends, we always go to, when we take our dog out for a walk, we go to this local cemetery where there's this very old ginkgo tree, and all the leaves had fallen and covered the ground. So I drew the ginkgo leaves as an element to pull together the spread. And this is the final sketch before I decided I didn't want to paint it anymore. So this is a clay gnome that I made for Christmas in the pottery studio. So I drew him because I really liked the way he turned out. And so that's the final sketch of the book. And so I hope you enjoyed it, and if you like it, please leave a thumbs up and maybe subscribe. And I'll see you next week for another video.